Hi everybody, this is Bronwyn. Welcome to my little channel. I'm really excited that you found me. Basically, I'm just going through my collection for myself to document it, and if anybody else is interested in my flip-throughs, I am thrilled that you're here. So today I want to have a look at the True Heart Intuitive Tarot by Rachel True. So this is a deck that I have a real... Well, I started out with a real dislike, honestly, simply because of the cardstock. There are a lot of reviews that I've watched where people have the same reaction, but I have come around and now absolutely love this deck. So it comes in, honestly, like, it's not the greatest box. It's just like pretty much like cheap cardboard, I would say. It's not something that I want to keep around. I basically just kept it for to do this review, honestly. So I bought this deck originally and returned it because I was so disappointed in the cardstock. But the artwork just calls to me, and I've heard such good things about the guidebook. Oops, there goes my camera. Sorry about that. I heard such good things about the guidebook that I decided to give it another try. So I ordered it again off of Chapters, and I'm giving it a proper shot this time instead of being so concerned about the cardstock. So this is the box. I'll just show you the sides. I'll do it back up. So it just like tucks in like so. That's the back. There's Rachel True. I've never seen the movie The Craft, but I am definitely going to watch it now because I love her. I love her book. So that's the box. The cards come in the bottom in this tray, and the deck is split in two, and each half is wrapped. I keep my cards in this little bag. But first, I'll just have a quick look at the book. It's a beautiful book. As you can see, it's kind of worn because I've read it a couple times and I keep it close at hand pretty much all the time. I love her writing style. It's got glossy paper. It is black and white. Here's your table of contents. She has a really great writing style. It's not dry. Like, I actually enjoyed reading this book. You get some backstory, some tips of how to like bond with your deck in the actor's way, which is kind of cool. I am not an actor by any means. I suck at acting, but I still really find it interesting. And then she's got some stuff about numerology, the suits, the courts. Instead of reversals, she calls it low vibe cards. And then for every, you get some spreads too. There's the Mother Piece spread, some Celtic Cross 3-card. So you get a really nice variety of spreads and like an example spread. So for the majors, for every card, you get a write-up on the meaning of the card, and then you get specifics for relationships and professional life. And then after that, and then you get your low vibe or reversal meaning, and then you get a story from her life. It's kind of like a memoir within a tarot book. So you get all the tarot info plus kind of her memoirs, which is really interesting, and it kind of has added new meaning to the cards for me. So you get that for every one of the major arcana, and then in the minors, it's less info. You get a page per card, but it's still good. I really enjoy this book. How many times have I said that? So you get your meaning in relationships, in professional life, and then your low vibe. So that is the book. I love the book. And now for the cards. So the biggest complaint about these cards is the cardstock, and it is very flimsy. I am not gonna lie, it is cardboardy. When I first opened the deck, the first time I bought it, I was like, nope, this is going back. It just honestly felt like the kind of cardboard that a cereal box is made out of. And yeah, it's not the greatest tactile experience, especially when you first take it out of the box, because there's actual like bits of paper from where it's been cut. So for the first like 20 minutes that I had it and was shuffling it, and I riffle shuffled it a bunch of times and overhand shuffled it, and there were little bits of like paper fiber all over my clothes. And I was so not impressed. But the second time I got it, I decided I'm just going to keep shuffling this and see how it holds up. And honestly, I've shuffled this thing for hours and the edges look fantastic. I was expecting it to pretty much fall apart. Now, I've edged this obviously with a Tombow brush marker, and it didn't bleed at all, but that's with the Tombow, mind you. I don't know how a Sharpie would do. I thought it would bleed a bit, but it looks great. And the edges have softened almost, like it's starting to feel like a nice deck, even though the cardstock is not great. So enough of my rambling. Let's have a flip through the cards. I love the artwork. It's by Stephanie Singleton, and it's not really obvious anywhere except on the back of the box. It says illustrated by Stephanie Singleton. So these are the backs of the cards. There are marks on my cards from shuffling. Like I said, I've shuffled this thing for hours. And I think maybe like a piece of grit, like sand or something, was in the deck, because a lot of the cards have a similar line on them. But that's okay, it doesn't bother me. Oh, card size. It's pretty standard. Here's a Centennial Smith weight card. So they're wider actually than a standard card. And the same height. I'll flip it over to give a better perspective. Yeah, the same height, but wider. So here's the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess. I love the diversity in this deck. I do agree with some reviews. Everybody's pretty young and everybody's thin. So we don't have a lot of body diversity, but I'll forgive it just because there's something about this deck that really draws me, and I love this card. The Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Chariot, Strength. I love her. She's got such a fierce look on her face. The Hermit. Now the book doesn't explain the artwork at all, which is kind of disappointing, because there's things about this that I'm a little confused about in the artwork. Like, what is she standing on? Is that a board? And what are those things growing around her feet? Are they like flowers or some kind of strange mushrooms? Some sort of fungus life? I'm not sure. The Wheel of Fortune. I actually like this Wheel of Fortune, and usually it's like my least favorite card in the deck. Justice. The Hanged Man. Death. Super cool depiction of death. Temperance. The Devil. The Tower. I like this depiction. I'm not sure if the hands are tearing the tower down themselves or trying to keep it up. The Star. The Moon. I get really good readings from this deck. It's really, it truly is an intuitive deck. I get a lot out of the imagery. Sorry, that's the sun. I love that. Love the color palette. Judgment. The World. Oh, perfection. So all of the aces have like this border sort of. I'll see if I can find. They have a similar art style, which is cool. So some are really traditional compared to the Waitesmith, and some are quite different. I love this Five of Wands. Sorry about there's a fly in my kitchen buzzing around and driving me crazy. So if you hear it, I apologize. I love this. So for the courts, there's the princess, the prince, the queen, and the king. And all of the courts are designed in a similar way as well. They have sort of a solid color background, as you'll see. Okay, now into the swords. Cups, I'm going to hold the deck. I love this too with the Taj Mahal in the background. Here's an example of a card where I got like extra intuitive info. Like I was reading with the deck last week and there's that feeling of celebration, but the people in the background are shadows, almost like you're so into the people you're with that you're sort of unaware of the people around you and maybe excluding them a little bit. Yeah, that's just an example. My dog is very loud, as always. I adore this Eight of Cups. I think it's kind of funny actually that, and finally the discs, that after all the decks I've bought and being so into like shuffling and the different card stocks, that one of the decks that I use the most is the one that has like the worst card stock. But part of that maybe I'm not afraid of damaging it, which is kind of funny. Because I figured this would get really beaten up, and it, like I said, it's held up shockingly well. Like I think this is the only card that has any sort of damage at all, and it's like on the edges anyway. Like I said, there's like scratches on the cards just from like a piece of sand or something getting in there. But yeah, they've almost gotten like soft, if that makes any sense. They don't feel as cardboardy as they did with use. So that is the True Heart Intuitive Tarot by Rachel True. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here and give them a shuffle. They're very quiet to shuffle. They remind me sort of the, what's the other deck I'm thinking of? The Star Spinner. Although I think those have better quality card stock. These don't feel like they have a core at all. Like they don't have that weight, but they shuffle fine. And then they riffle shuffle beautifully as well. So yeah, I'm really glad that I decided to give this deck another chance because it really is special to me. I mean, as with every deck, it's not going to be, not everybody's going to feel that way about it, but yeah, in spite of the cardstock quality, I really love it. See, like this 5 discs, the outside looking in. So here's just an example sort of how they look when they're laid out. My dog is really loud today. This hasn't been very well shuffled, obviously, but it gives you an idea. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. I know it was longer than my usual flip throughs, but I just feel chatty today, so that's the story. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my videos, please hit subscribe. I've got lots more coming. My collection's pretty big, and I think I did a bunch at first when I first started my channel. Right now I have 10 subscribers, which is super exciting, even though 5 of them are family members. And yeah, I hope you have a fantastic day. And if you made it this far, I really appreciate you listening to me ramble. Take care. Bye.